emancipate yourself from mental slavery. Nobody's going to force you to do that. But this time it's not about emancipation. It's all about thinking very well. I've been a victim of this. And I wonder how somebody will not, when I've not worked for like 1 year, 6 months, and you pray for that person will stand up and start working. I saw a post on Matthias says that post, and I decided to do a video of this. For this, I want to ask you if you know about somebody who has not worked for 3 months, 5 months. If you have a brother or a sister or a relative or friends who has gone through this, if it's possible, make video and post. Orthopedic doctors gather here, physiotherapists gather here. Those that already was in the now gather here too. Those who say that they fix bone, come. I want you guys to listen to this, because if a newborn baby is born, that baby will not be able to sit down instead of thinking of crawling, because the baby lacks muscles. That baby start developing muscles when they start feeding that baby. So the kind of food they're supposed to use to feed the baby, and the baby start developing muscle fast. The one that is fast, when after some time, the baby now start developing muscle. But when somebody is being born, the spine here stays straight. The spine, I'm not talking about the cord, I'm talking about the bone spine, it stays straight. When the baby begins to sit down, the spine starts taking another shape. When the baby starts crawling, it starts taking another shape. And when the baby starts standing, the spine will start taking another shape. When the baby takes a bull step, it will take another shape, and the shape becomes like X. Go and study it if you don't know it. And the person will now start to balance and start walking fine after some time. And somebody who has never learned how to sit down, somebody who has never learned how to stand up, who did not even crawl, and talking of standing, will be on a wheelchair for all his whole life. And your pastor or your spiritualist will now pray for that person, and that person will stand up. And you, because I was once like a mumu like you. You that is mumu will start clapping. You start clapping. That is a miracle. Let me tell you, if somebody who is walking fine, maybe the person has an accident on his spine issue, has stayed for a bed for like 6 months, the person will learn how to sit down. After sitting down, the person will learn how to stand. After standing, he will learn how to stand and sit before we start moving his leg, taking his leg, the step one after the other, before the person will now start to walk. Even the person is going to train his knees if the person lacks muscles, because everything works with bone and muscle. The most important side, the first side, is muscles. Without muscle, you cannot move. You find out that somebody who has been sitting on a wheelchair for a very long time, even the person has an accident or is being natural or that person is crippled, cannot walk. Person will build muscles. If prayer bring muscles or miracle bring muscles, those bodybuilders in the gym will not go and be lifting weight to have muscles. They will not. What they do is to push down the size of muscles they want in their body, or they want 6-pack, and your pastor will pray and that muscle will come. How come somebody who doesn't have muscle will stand up and start walking, and all you do is clap? I've been a victim of that. I had a spine issue. Bacteria entered my spine. I was admitted. I was treated by about 3 or 4 hospitals, and I went to one. When I met one of the best doctors in Nigeria, Dr. Anaka, an orthopedic specialist. When he saw me, he knew what was happening for me. What was happening to me is from the spine. And this doctor saw me. He said, what was happening to me is from the spine. An orthopedic specialist, Dr. Anaka. He's so good. He met me on a wheelchair, and he told me to go and do an MRI test. After everything, he said I will lie down on the bed for the next 6 months. And probably he got me a physiotherapy. The guy made a mistake, but I got an experience through it. It took me time. It took me like 3 months to sit down, to stand up, and start walking. I've been a victim of that. People can pray for it, doesn't work. You must have to build muscles. Must have to build muscles before you talk of standing. Before you talk of your bones, you must have to build muscle. Let me tell you, when somebody stops walking around, the brain stops to recognize. If you're a physiotherapy, you know what I'm saying. If you're an orthopedic doctor, you know what I'm saying. The brain will stop to recognize that you're walking around. So when you're going to start, the brain will start recognizing again. So I don't see how a pastor will come and pray for somebody who doesn't have a muscle. The muscle will develop instantly. Where bodybuilders go to build muscles. And somebody who is bone is not active. And the person will not stand up and start walking. That is impossible. I want to talk to Nigerian government. I want to talk to those in the media. There are videos you see. The first thing you do is to tell that this video is not possible. You people are demonizing people. You people are bringing people down. Somebody who had an accident, who is supposed to go through therapy and start walking, will now be waiting for prayers. And at the same time, before he stays for too long, the person will not be able to do it that easy again. It's going to take a lot of time. Somebody who has an accident or somebody who has a spine issue and maybe the spine is the cord is back and he starts walking, who is supposed to go through a therapy, you not start praying for the person. It doesn't work that way. It's high time we stop doing this kind of video. It's high time people do this and stop posting it. Emancipate yourself. But this one is thinking critically. Let's stop all these bullshit videos you're doing. Praying for a crippled person to stand up walking and somebody who had an accident and somebody who has never walked before. It doesn't work that way. You cannot pray for somebody who has been crippled for all his whole life and the person will not stand up and start walking. It doesn't work that way. Emancipate yourself. Always think critically. Whenever you see such video, study the video. You that is a pastor that is planning 1 or 2 miracles, you should stop it. Let's liberate ourselves. We are the ones demonizing ourselves now. We, the Africans. I see a lot of miracles all over Africa. Pastor praying for crippled people to walk. It doesn't work. And it can never work. It doesn't work that way. When somebody is down with an accident and is trying to regain or trying to rebuild himself, or somebody is trying to, maybe he's okay, and he needs to go through therapy, and the person will become normal. Therapy, which they even use that ball to train people. They train your side, train your legs, train you on how to walk. You just pray for the person. The person will not feel anything. Will just stand up, match his leg 1 or 2, and the person will now start walking, and people will clap. You that is clapping, you are a fool. You are a mugu. If you don't think critically, whenever you see such video, you are a fool. So what I'm trying to tell you today is, it doesn't work that way. I am still your only mourner, Papa. The first person I declared is not interested in heaven.